House Bill 2063. The short title for this bill is Schools Student Promotions. And this bill was introduced by Representative Fillmore, and it's going to be heard in the House Education Committee on Monday, I believe. That's the 9th. 9th will be Monday, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. And this is actually, I like the bill because what the bill does is that it prohibits the schools from advancing a student if that student doesn't know the subject. That makes a perfectly good sense, and I am in favor of this bill. But I have some major concerns about it, mainly having to do with the fact that there's so many exclusions. There are so many different situations under which you could advance a student if that student doesn't really know the subject. And that gives me a little bit of pause. Maybe this can be amended during the committee hearings. I don't know. I still think that it's better to have a bill that requires advancement only if you know the subject, but it should be fixed so that you don't have that many exclusions on it.
Well, I mean, if you actually read this bill, it provides that the student's teacher is the one who makes a determination as to whether or not to fail the student in a course or to pass the student forward or to require them to repeat the course.
Yeah, but there's a variety of reasons why that teacher would not, would advance even though he may not know the subject.
Well, but the provision says that the Board of Education can overrule the teacher's decision, all right? Now, I'll tell you, I'm in favor of the provision in the bill, but that same provision has already been in the code, so unless it has been removed by some prior bill, and this is just an attempt to put it back, it's only including something in the state bill that's already in it. As I say, unless it's been previously removed.
It could be.
And understand that the school boards and the school districts have never paid attention to it. They're not, if they allow that teacher to refuse to allow a student to advance, it has an effect on the amount of money that the school district gets, because now they're one student that they didn't have because that student failed. So it affects the amount of money that the school district gets, and the school district is not going to fail a student. They're just not going to do it because it costs them money if they do.
In other words, maybe the reason for having the bill is that they had to meet the quota.
Well, I don't know.
We're up to about 1,600 bills, so maybe that was part of it.
Well, I would suggest, Mr. Fillmore, if he sees this and understands what I'm saying about this, that he might want to amend the bill to put some teeth into it so that the teacher actually can give the student a failing grade or refuse to advance them on to another grade. There's nothing in this bill that indicates that the student has to know the subject matter before they can be moved on.
So essentially, we've come to the same conclusion that we like the idea. It's just that with the exclusions and the fact that it hasn't been paid attention to in the past, it's not as effective as we would like to see it.
Well, unless you put some teeth in it and say, look, Board of Education or school district, you can't overrule the teacher on this matter, then it's a waste of time, because the school board is never ever going to allow you to fail a student. And the end result is that you're going to have, and let me tell you, I served at one point in time as a volunteer in the libraries for Cave Creek School District. And I went to one of their schools in the library, and basically I was to help check out books and put them back on the shelves. And I was putting books back on the shelves in the 7th and 8th grade, in a 7th and 8th grade school. And I noticed in one segment they had books that said, Dick and Jane and See Spot Run. Well, I mean, these are things that you should learn in kindergarten and the 1st grade. And so I asked the librarian, I said, why do you have those books in the library? Mm-hmm. And she said, because we have students that can only read at that level. Now, if you've got a 7th grade student that can only read at 1st and 2nd degree level, there is no way that they can master school courses, just no way. And you are burdening that student with the probability that they will never be able to really fully function as a member of society, because they do not have the background, the educational background to do so. And until they put some teeth in this, it's, you know, it's a good idea, but it's only a good idea.
Okay.